So to discuss that, I will continue being here because I would love taking the folks on stage on a little ride, yeah. And I need your help in that as well because let's all firmly believe that we are consumers, and these are all big brands who are going to be up here, right? But at the same time, I say this with a certain amount of authority and decisiveness because this is an area that I've been focusing on for the past 15, 16 years. We are at a stage where the whole concept of customer engagement and customer loyalty management is in a state of flux. It's at an inflection point, and multiple reasons why. One is obviously the fact that you as a customer, you've got a mobile in your hand, and that's your most powerful weapon, right? That's your access to information. You really know who's selling you at what price. It's not only about price. If there is a certain piece of merchandise that you are looking at, you also know what the world thinks of that merchandise in terms of the reviews. Right? How many of you go for reviews before buying anything? That's it. No one else? Okay. You should. Right? That's why the guys who raise their hands are happier. Okay. Now, on stage we have someone who represents a brand that's so well known, right? Belongs to the house of Tata, known for its integrity, known for the fact that it delivers customer value. Again, you represent Arvind brands and something which is a part of every Indian's life at almost every point in time. Two extremely strong brands. And third is an entity called QwikCilver. How many of you heard of QwikCilver? Coming straight to the questions, Sherry, how exactly has a customer of Titan changed over the last 5 years?
So we launched the program. Our Titan Encircle program is a unified loyalty program. We launched the program in the year 2013. And prior to 2013, we had standalone loyalty program that is independent to every brand. For jewelry, we had a program, then watches and eyewear. So we combined all these and then unified the program because the trend, the customer requirement, the customer behavior, everything changed. And in fact, the touch points also, the customer touch points, it's changing. See, probably today I'm doing something, and then a year later, that's very irrelevant. So
how do you manage your investment into managing that particular touch point? Even when you know that it's probably got a life of about a year, it's got a shelf life of about a year, do you still go ahead and invest into building that capability, or you say, no, let me ignore it for the time being and let's see what evolves?
So primarily, the technology plays is not the primary player in this. What exactly do you want to do with the customers? I mean, what exactly? See, if you actually see loyalty program is the customers don't care much for the points these days. I mean, because there's a lot of discounts, and as you rightly said, the review matters quite a lot these days, and points plays a very important role. So how well you can engage with the customers, how well you know your customers, that plays an important role. So based on this, you've got a year-round plan, and we work towards, we worked, when it comes to customer engagement, we work with a lot of startups in smaller capsules. In the sense, we do a lot of campaigns for tier 1 city, tier 2 cities, and then even towns as well. And then based on whatever responses, we scale it up. So we actually don't invest in huge long term, like something like a mega technology or something at one go. It's all done in smaller capsules. And then out of 100 things what you do, probably 99 fails, and then 1 or 2 is what you succeed, and then you build on it. And again, that's the shelf life is also very less.
Right. Coming to you, so how does this pan out within the brand portfolio that you handle? Yeah. How has the consumer changed over the past?
I think it's a small room, so I don't need a mic, right?
Audible?
Everyone can hear me?
Probably it will help for the recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think at Arvind, the way we think about loyalty in a larger perspective. So we think about omni-channel loyalty. So no matter where my customer is coming from, let it be from a store, let it be from a mobile device, let it be even from one of my marketplace channels. How am I ensuring that I have captured that customer and I'm able to retain him and get him or her to keep on coming back to us? And what we've seen where loyalty is concerned is that when we have customers who have come to us from various channels, we see that they have twice the lifetime value. They come to us 3 times more than a customer who's come either from a store or only online. So a really important thing when we think through loyalty or how we want to implement it is, how do we implement it so that the same points bucket is being able, they can use it online? What kind of programs are we putting, not just offline to incentivize customers, but also online? So am I giving him access to my newest season before anybody else, right? Can I send him stylist services? Can I give him alteration at home? So these are some of the things that we're thinking through. Some of them we've implemented, some of them are in the process, but whenever we think of loyalty, it has to be through any channel, right? So irrespective of where he's come from.
Sure. In fact, what happens is when it's about loyalty and when it's about a multi-brand enterprise like both Titan and Arvind, the challenges in terms of at what level do you build that single customer view? That's one of the most wonderful PowerPoint terms, right? Single customer view, right? Customer 360, single customer view. And both of you actually touched on something that I wanted to ask. And it's very clear that it's not only about transactions, it's also about the other privileges that one gets. So do you have a loyalty program running at this point in time?
Yeah.
And what's it called?
So it differs by brand. So
Okay.
we've actually, each of our brands, because our brands are so different, like we have everything from a Sephora and a Gap all the way to an Unlimited, right, which is
Right.
your kind of value segment brand. So each of these programs is very, very different, but we also allow the points to be used online for each of these programs separately.
So in which case you are acknowledging that fact that if I'm a customer at Unlimited, I can possibly be a customer at Sephora as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes.
Okay, but it's just that from a program entity perspective, you still want to keep it
Yeah, because
separate.
yes, because I mean what we've seen is that just the like for example in a cosmetics brand you will reward customers also very differently than you would maybe in a value brand,
Yeah.
right? So incentives also differ
Yeah.
by brand.
And globally, Sephora is known as one of those brands which have taken customer engagement to a completely different level. Just as Nordstorm is known for customer service, Sephora is known for having engagements which kind of go beyond just mere transactions. How many of your members of Encircle? You have an audience.
Yeah.
How many of you have heard of Encircle? And why have you not been part of the program? Anyone? No worries, it stays within the 4 walls. Could you just use, yeah.
So with my previous organization, we had a tie-up with Encircle, and that's how I heard of Encircle and was part of the program, but not since then, to be honest.
And why is that?
Haven't really given it much thought, honestly.
So you didn't feel the need of it?
Yeah.
So, Sherry, here in this small but fairly involved audience, we just had 2 hands going up in terms of being members of the Encircle program. Honestly, that surprised me. I would have believed that with brands like Titan, Tanishq, and Fast Track, you would have a larger audience. What do you think is missing here?
Okay. First of all,
before you answer
yeah.
that, how many of you are Titan customers?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many of you are Tanishq customers? Fast Track. Sherry, over to you.
Yeah, so ideally they're all Encircle members because Encircle is a program that cuts across all the, the brands of Titan, right from jewelry, watch and eyewear, accessories and even now saris. The only thing is, our Titan brands are so strong and then, brands are nothing but the pillars of our current loyalty program, the Encircle program. Without brands, we are zero. So most of the customers, they got a good brand recall, but not Encircle. Again, as I'm just touching upon the earlier point that I mentioned. Loyalty points does not matter to customers these days. So that's. What was your second question?
Is that, if there are so many people out here who
So
have,
that's a lot of opportunity for me.
who engaged with you,
Yeah.
what is it missing? I mean, why is it that they are not part of Encircle, or A, are they part of Encircle and they're not aware of it?
Yeah.
Or B, I don't know.
It's they're part of Encircle and they're not aware of it. That's the challenge that we are facing. And our current biggest challenge is we're getting a lot of inactive customers. We get in a lot of customers, but our customer base is, getting into, we call it dormancy. So any customers who do not transact in like 12 to 15 months become dormant. So our dormant rate is also quite high, and that's one of the biggest challenges what we're facing. And we found a way to overcome this as well. So we've actually come up with a plan. We've actually implemented something called engagement score. So usual metrics for any loyalty is RFM and repeat purchase and redemption and things like that. So and while we were doing this, we thought there's not much of engagement that's happening with the customers. So we thought of scoring customers on softer aspects like campaign response, email open rate, clicking on the link, visiting website and stuff like that. But but as we started doing this, we realized that we do very little engagement with the customers. It's very transactional. Our relationship with the customers was being very transactional. Like, we've got an offer, we communicate, we've got an offer. It's just one way. We've got some point balance. We tell that, okay, here is a Tanishq offer, which we give, importance, and then, or a watch offer, and then, you've got this points balance, please redeem this. So it's very transactional. So recently, about a year back, we've developed a platform, and the couple of the examples are, it's digital engagement platform where we started gamifying, giving points, and the credit giving away points was as little as like 10, 20, 30 points, 50 points, but then the response what we get on this gamification is really good, as good as about 6%, 7% for a target group of 10 to 15 lakhs. So that's actually given us a very positive, note on this. Secondly, we are also, opening up a partner ecosystem. We're starting a partner ecosystem where, we've got a watch called Reflex, Fast Track Reflex. It's something like a Fitbit, in that category. So keeping that in the center, we've actually we're tying up with a whole lot of partners, a fitness, category partners like, good food, fitness centers, good food, having, tying up with a marathon 5K, 10K, organizers. So we've got a platform or a community where we can converse with the customers. It's just not one way, but converse with the customers. But this is the reality, and this is the challenge that we are currently facing.
Normally, your response would have, completely sunk my spirits, given the amount of emotional connect that I have with this topic. But I know for the fact what Sherry and team does at Titan, and I know for a fact that you guys love Titan Tanishq as a brand. So probably there's a missing link somewhere. Can they go to a store, give their mobile numbers, and find if they are an Encircle member or not?
Absolutely.
So would you want to do that? No. Yeah? No? Yeah, absolutely. Can they do online?
Yes.
Brilliant. So please do that, and you'll probably realize that you are an Encircle member already, right? So that's a nice thing to know about yourself. Yeah.
Do you think product innovation could be one of the reasons why people are not so much able to, get into the brand Titan? Because with watches, I'm talking, like, these days there is so much innovation in watches. And I feel somewhere, like, I've been a Titan user, but off late I feel that connect seems to be missing because maybe the watches are not to the latest times, like with the fitness, like Garmin or a TomTom, compared to, say, even a Fossil has a very good smartwatch these days. So could that be one of the reasons? Just a thought.
No, you're absolutely right. So we got into this smartwatch business about 4 years back. First with Intel, then with HP, but on the platform front and the design front was, from marketing and everything on us. but somehow it didn't work. But we've got something that's coming up in the next few months. But that's one of the primary reasons. Even and also with Amazon, Google, nobody, even when we go into the market for recruiting, resource, nobody finds Titan that sexy. It's a very old traditional, my dad, when he passed out of college, he bought a watch. That's the kind of perception they've got. So we're trying to come out of that, but this is, that's one of the point.
Sure.
He's absolutely right.
So coming to you, Gyan, QwikCilver has played a very, very significant role in the evolution of the digital economy that we see today. Probably unknown to a lot of people because you've managed the back end, you've managed the entire infrastructure that gives a very, very nice thing called as a wallet to the consumers. How have you seen this whole thing changing over the past 5 years, and what is it that prompted QwikCilver to enter this market?
Okay. QwikCilver is basically a technology firm, a technology company, and we are proud to call ourselves as a prepaid instrument technology services company.
You can hear him clearly?
Right? And over the last, I think he started with wallet, and let me just give you a little bit of a background about the company itself. Right? It's a Indian startup company. We've been in business for about 7 years and started 12 years ago. The first 5 years, we only concentrated on building a technology platform. And in the last 7 years, the kind of market that we see for prepaid instrument / gift card is about $65 billion in India. Right? That's the market size for gifting in India. And where we are today from the organized gifting through the technology platforms, right, with all the other organized retailers that we have today, so we managed to grow from 0 to 8,500 crores last year. The last financial year, we did about 8,500 crores of transaction volume and likely to expand to 16,000 crores this year.
All because we Indians are generous now.
Yeah, Indians are, that is because the disposable income is increasing thanks to all the contributions from every industry. Now, we pretty much power every gift card that is there in the market today. 95%, if you buy a gift card today, right, it is 95% chance the technology behind is coming from QwikCilver. And we pretty much power every prepaid instrument of Amazon, Flipkart, Make My Trip, Myntra, you just name it. All of them online and offline, of course. Both Arvind and Titan are also part of our portfolio. Now, coming to wallet, I think specific question about wallet, I would want to remove certain misnomers around wallet. Today, a common man thinks that wallet is equal to money. Right? Technologically, wallet is not equal to money. Wallet is a simple container, right, which can hold various currencies, right? So again, right, within wallet, right, there are two kinds of wallets that we have. One is a closed loop wallet, and the other one is an open loop wallet. Closed loop wallet is a wallet where you could hold all the private currencies that would be issued by any brand. Let's say, for example, both the brands, Arvind and Titan, who are sitting here with me out today, right, run closed loop programs. What I mean by a closed loop program is a currency issued by a particular legal entity and allowed to be redeemed within that particular legal entity is a closed loop program. So there could be multiple currencies that could be issued by a particular brand, right? There could be a gift card, there could be a promotional instrument, there could be a credit note, there could be multiple instruments that could be issued with their own identity.
I'll just interrupt you here, because when you say currency, you mean each of these instruments?
Each of these instruments,
okay,
right? It becomes a currency of that particular brand, all right? Now, what happens if you have multiple identities, right? Then you can't give a good experience to your customer, because every time the person walks in, right, they will have to bring that specific instrument to the store. Now, by bringing in a wallet and putting all of it into a wallet, you are now able to have one single identity, which could be a mobile number. If it is backed by a mobile app, right, then it becomes with one single identity, you can just have all the currencies in that particular wallet. Now, once the wallet has been brought into play, what we also do is we build complex rules, right, within the wallet to make sure that which instrument should be used first, right? If I have 10 gift cards in my wallet, and with various validities, right, I can build a rule where I would say that whichever is expiring first should be used first and then go on accordingly. Right? Sometimes I could also use, I want to burn my points first, loyalty points first, and then the rest of them. So all those complex rules can also be built into this particular program. So when I talk of the open loop or a open loop wallet, it can also contain the banking instruments as well.
So what a wallet does is, it's not just a container from the perspective of you having a place to store your currencies. It's also a means for a brand to engage much deeper with a customer. You can actually route the cashbacks into the wallet, right? Which means that if you have a cashback in your wallet, the chances of you engaging with that brand again becomes higher. I know there is 100 rupees in my wallet, XYZ wallet. I'd rather do the transaction there than somewhere where I don't have that wallet to use to. And that's where Amazon Prime Pay, Amazon Pay does a fantastic job of easing that entire customer process, right? Now coming to the fact that coming to specifically to loyalty programs, you are all part of loyalty programs, right? How many of you are part of one loyalty program? That's it. One loyalty program. 2, 3, N. How many of you are part of Jet Privilege? No, it is not was. Jet Privilege, see, that's the beauty of Jet Privilege, right? They spun it off as a separate company about 4 years back, and someone said it's much more beautiful now. Who is that? Yeah, so they've gone on a marketing overdrive as well, right? And how many of you are part of a bank loyalty program? Any credit card? Right. What is your primary expectation of a loyalty program, from a loyalty program? Reward points and discounts.
If I see some points coming on the app, it tempts me to buy something more, right? Or it gives me more and more loyalty to the brand.
Got it. So points. Suppose you are a member of, let's say, the Tanishq program as within the Titan portfolio. What would you want to do? How do you think the Titan as a brand can make your journey with them better? Yes, sir.
Personally, if you collaborate with somebody else who I use frequently, I might not be a Tanishq or a type of product consumer, but I do make purchases. So if you collaborate with somebody who's eventually the person who's going to be getting to use something where his interest is probably miles and more.
Within your personal context, give me an example.
Okay, I use miles and more very aggressively because I get a lot of miles for PT.
So Miles and More is Lufthansa's loyalty program. So he's a customer of Miles and More. Yeah.
You buy products from anywhere else, they connect it to your, miles and more, and then I can just pick points from there and choose things.
Right. So if you're
Not necessarily buying from one person only and getting because that's different. So I really understand that customers' product picks in different categories, which are not necessarily, for instance, a Sephora and a Titan customer. Is there a common customer? If yes, come on a common platform as a company to collaborate and then offer to the consumer the same value.
is giving you business ideas, essentially asking Titan and Arvind to collaborate, create a loyalty program, or I cringe when I say these words loyalty program, but it's more of an engagement program wherein he benefits whenever he individually transacts with Titan or with Arvind, right? That's why. Next. Sorry?
LYCONET, L-Y-C-O-N-E-T.
Okay.
I believe it is the biggest global loyalty program.
Yeah.
And any company can collaborate, even the big retailers collaborate with it, and it rewards the point that it can be redeemed. LYCONET gives you everything from pin to the aeroplane.
Okay. So I understand. So I get this whole idea about the span of avenues or the avenues from where you can get rewarded. So let's not discuss anything more on that. We get that. Anything other than that? Yes. Would you want to take the microphone, please? I mean, you're audible to us, but not to perhaps to a lot of people here.
Sorry, so specifically to Tanishq, I have a personal experience as well. So of course, during birthdays and anniversaries, you do keep getting messages saying that, happy birthday, and here's some discount or whatever for you. And I remember in Mumbai last year for my birthday, I had entered Tanishq showroom to buy a piece of jewelry. And when they finally, when it came to billing and they found out what my name is and my number or whatever, out of nowhere there was a cake which came in. Of course, the money and everything is important, but just the fact that all of this shusha around me, they were like everyone standing and clapping and just all of those. So that became like a big thing for me.
This is so incredible, right? This is what we've been discussing about.
So, so most of them don't recognize Encircle because these are things that is done at the back end by us. But then, see, again, as I said, all our brands are so strong. Like Tanishq, World of Titan, Helios. These are all strong brands. So, from a brand perspective, we don't want to, take a center stage. Whereas, and a lot of empowerment and training goes into the store stuff. Because if you, like she said, there are a lot of customers like this. Who actually connects to a particular store and to a particular sales staff. They have actually postponed. I've got a lot of instance. They postpone their shopping purchase because the store staff is on leave.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of relationship they've got, and so we don't want to disturb that that ecosystem, that relationship.
Now I'm asking you a question on behalf of everybody. Even if I don't buy anything, but I walk into the store on my birthday, would I get a cake?
We've not reached that level because we don't have your data.
While this was in jest, there's a very, very crucial point that's come out. Because it's only at the point of transaction that the brand is recognizing me as who I am, right? And I mean, it's not a negative. It's just that we are all in a journey of evolution. And I guess everyone is trying, I know for sure Titan is trying to see as to how can one identify a person even before he or she has engaged with them. Which again brings back to the question as to if the point of engagement is just the transaction, then there are challenges, right? So you need to, yes.
For me, it's the other end, right? I mean, if you don't know who I am, and it can be transaction, sure, you can figure out some other way to find out who I am. But I mean, I just tried, like while you were saying, I was just trying to think, what if I enter the store and suddenly people are clapping and giving me a cake without even knowing, without me even telling you who I am? It's kind of creepy, no?
How many of you find it creepy? No cake for you guys. Please take the names and the dates of birth.
Just a day before my birthday evening, I got a call from, I was actually figuring out to go out and shop a dress for myself. And then I got a call from Arvind store telling, sir, happy birthday in advance. And then would you like to come to our store and shop now? We would like to celebrate your birthday actually, more than shopping. I was like, what's this? And then I was like, I was planning to go and shop. Then I thought, let me go. I went to an Arvind store. They said, sir, we want to celebrate your birthday. They got a cake, they celebrated. And then I felt like actually purchasing there. And then I ended up purchasing in that store that evening. It was like all in that context. I had a plan to go buy. That was a good idea to call in the evening before and then ask about celebrating the birthday and then, pushing us to buy from Arvind store kind of stuff. It was warm at the same time, kind of good gesture all in all.
I mean, that's amazing. Two extremely warm stories, right? Which acknowledges the fact that both the brands are going that extra mile. While both of them hinge on this parameter called birthdays, I'm sure there's a lot more someone can do. Probably a better idea is if Arvind actually shot out emails to 5 of your friends saying it's your birthday. Yeah, I think it would have been a win-win situation. But anyways, jokes apart, I think that's important. But you're right, it could be creepy for some. It all flows back into this whole issue of data privacy. We had this chat yesterday in that section as well. It's important, and it again goes back to something which we started this whole discussion with, is in terms of how is the brand communicating to you about the program. Trust me, across the world, there's probably about 1 or 2 brands who do this communication perfectly well, right? There are 2 reasons for it. One, some of these brands complicate the loyalty programs to such an extent it's easier launching a rocket to the moon than understanding the program. That's number 1. Number 2 is they don't believe it is important to communicate. Reason being, the fundamental supposition is that the customers have to be loyal to the brand. But now, brands are in a state where they are saying, where they are thinking, and I can vouch for that from people sitting on the stages, that they're continuously thinking, how can we be relevant to the customer, right? How can we be loyal to the customer? I'm absolutely sure that they know that you have tons and tons of choices available with you, right? And it doesn't matter where they are in terms of the hierarchy, but you have choices. What is it that makes you reach out to these brands? Customers and the brands are working towards it. They're trying to build that model. First of all, there is this acknowledgement, CEO downwards, that it is not about customers' loyalty to the brand anymore. It's about the brand's loyalty to the customer, period. I mean, this is no longer a line in the PPT that we used to peddle about 5-6 years back. Today, it's an absolute reality. And because of which, and the reason why I said CEO downwards is because you will agree with me that unless the CMO, the COO, the CEO, and the CIO, and all the CXOs come together, this is not going to work, right? Even the supply chain gentleman has to be there. Because if you, what some of you just mentioned, saying that we go beyond points, it goes beyond experiences. There's a brand called Kohl's in the US, right? Now, Kohl's, what it does is, it surprised the socks out of 3 of their top customers. And when I say top, it doesn't mean that they are top in terms of revenue or the amount of revenue that can be attributed to them. They have some other metric. They call these 3 ladies, and they were made, or they were requested, or they were given the opportunity to be part of a runway show. They were the models for Kohl's on that runway show. Anyone and everyone will trade all the points in their account for an opportunity like this, right? These are called privileges, like you mentioned, right? You inadvertently led to a coalition loyalty kind of a scenario. But what it also meant is that, there is life beyond points for me. I would like to know what Titan can offer to me. Can Titan give me a free golf, outing at the top golf course here in Bangalore, right? Can, Arvind, be my sponsor for a couple of tickets at a rock concert in Palace Gardens, let's say. Now, this might look cheesy when it comes to the kind of avenues that I'm talking about, but if it's aligned to customer preferences, if I like rock music and I'm a big fan of yours as a brand, then you probably, if you give me that, I would value it more than the points. So, yes, sir.
That's what many bank programs, they offer you lounges every quarter and they offer you the movie tickets every now and then. Without
Correct.
you being active or inactive, if you hold their card, they are going to mail you quite often. They are providing the lounge access irrespective of any communication. Every quarter you can access 1 or 2 lounge access.
I quite agree on the lounges part, but I've been terribly unsuccessful on the movie ticket booking part. I never get it. I don't know why. Maybe it's something to do with me, but I never get that.
My car, my son redeems it. I don't know how, but he successfully does it every now and then.
Probably need to have a chat with him. Okay. So coming to, obviously, customer loyalty programs have undergone a change. And Gyan, you've worked with some of the biggest brands here in India. Do you see a change in attitude of folks? Just forget that they are sitting there. Do you see a change in attitude? Do you see a conscious decision to reinvent themselves in the new scenario?
Okay, I would like to recall one of the retail gurus in the UK. I'm sure you know Edmund Gino. he would say that if you would want loyalty, go get a dog. Loyalty doesn't work. That's the retail guru's statement, right? If you look at the Asian market, I'm not just saying specifically to India, the Asian market, since we have been evolving over a period of time, right? The loyalty doesn't, people are not loyal to brands, right? They are loyal to themselves, right? And they would switch brands, right, in a drop of a hat. And it is time we reinvent ourselves when it comes to loyalty. And as you said earlier, right, the brands have to become loyal to the customers, and expecting the customers to be loyal is out the door, out of the window.
It's an unenviable situation, actually. So do you really believe that loyalty is out of the window? There's no such thing called loyalty. Then what are you aiming for?
No, I don't think loyalty is out of the window. I think it's probably a different name. It's probably engagement or experiences, right? So I mean, a lot of our stores, we now think about how do I provide an experience in the store to get people to stay longer or for people to keep on coming back. The birthday cake is one example, but I mean, even doing, if you're in an Arrow store, can I do like barbershop sessions, right? Can I teach you how to wear a suit differently, right? That will get people to come to the store to engage with us, you know, on something that, you know, is kind of related to the brand ethos, but it's talking about something else, not just coming and buying, not just doing a transaction. And I think that's how we think about loyalty now. It's just how do we get customers to come online, come to the site and engage and then buy. And we have to constantly be innovating, otherwise people will, he's right, people will forget about us tomorrow. But if we constantly innovate in experiences, I think people will keep on coming back and they'll remember.
Right.
I fully agree with you, because I personally, because I used to be working with IBM before I joined QwikCilver. I used to head the consulting business for IBM. And at those days I used to advocate my customers to get into more of experiential loyalty rather than giving the points and asking them to incentivize in terms of loyalty. I think you're probably on the right track.
Sherry, you know, much as you're proud of the fact that, you know, you are part of Titan and you got strong brands, that brings in its own wake challenges, because Tanishq is a hugely different brand from Titan, is a hugely different brand from Fastrack. How do you maintain sanity in terms of building your customer engagement efforts in this case?
Yeah, so we've got about 18 million members across for our loyalty program. It's 18 million members, which we've built over a period of 6 years now. We launched the program in 2013. And so that's why I said, you know, we always do, you know, whatever engagement initiatives that we launch or what we have, we always do it in smaller capsules, you know, because we can never scale it up to this scale, you know, because we've got customers who are like very matured, HNI customers for jewelry, and then we've got Zoya, which, you know, where Zoya is a premium brand of Tanishq. We just got 3-4 stores, and where customers spend about 40 to 50 lakhs per transaction. And then we've got, you know, a brand like, you know, Fastrack, where the customers are more aware and exposed, you know, they're more aware than the brands. You know, they know more, you know, which are the new products, youngsters, you know, and then they're more engaged. So how do you engage with these customers, and how do you engage with, so we always do it in smaller capsule, and it's not that, you know, one size fits all. That doesn't work at all.
Right.
And that's the reason why I partially agree with what Gyanesh told, that the traditional loyalty is dead. I mean, and if you see, that's the reason why most of the loyalty programs are also not working. I mean, if you see in the Indian market, because they still follow the points, you know, way of, you know, the more you transact, the more points you get. And it's dying out, because customers are more engaged outside. I mean, they're more aware of what's happening outside. They're more exposed to things.
Okay. Now a quick rapid fire with the audience. Be sharp. Yes.
Third-party tools to.
Okay, we use third-party platform, and it's a customized platform.
Okay. So you work
Because again, see, the loyalty is not our core forte. I mean, our business is something else. So we need to have from a business point of view, I need to have a strategy, I need to have a plan, I need to have a vision for the next 2 years or 3 years. Based on that, whichever is the best platform, we take that.
So you keep changing it as and when.
Yeah, every 5 to 6 years we.
Sure. Rukaiya, one question for you. You have multiple brands in Arvind. So do you have different loyalty platforms for each brand, like Hans or?
So we have different loyalty programs for each brand, and it's called different things for each brand, but the platform is the same.
Okay, but it's the same common platform, and you can get points, whatever you use.
The points you use would only be able to use it for that brand.
Oh, you can't cross.
You can't use it, but the technology behind it all is the same.
So is it homegrown or is it?
No, we use third party as well for the same reasons that Sherry mentioned.
I'm going to charge sales efforts here. Okay. Okay. Now, quickly we'll wrap this up and with a quick fire set of questions / statements, and I need answers from you. Only points or points for or points plus experiences? Points that have a shelf life or that expire, or points that don't expire? Okay, so expire is points.
So our program, by the way, the points don't expire. As in when the more you transact, the point validity also gets extended.
Yeah. So, okay, you broke my thought. Okay. Points that you can use for yourself, points that you can transfer to others. Come on. Sure? Okay. What? No, I'm talking of you as a consumer. No. Correct. So answer it as if you are a consumer, right? It's your bucket of points. Points that you can transfer to your brother versus points that you can transfer to Child Relief and you. Okay, let's be honest here, both. Yeah, but Child Relief and you, possibly yes, right? Loyalty program that is simple, single-tiered, versus a loyalty program that's multi-tiered. Loyalty program that has multiple redemption options versus loyalty program that has simple, limited set of redemptions. You don't mind it being complex. Auto redemption or redemption at your will. A lot of it resonates with what both of you are thinking at a program level, right? I mean, I haven't seen a better congruence than this. Honestly, I did not expect this. I did not expect this level of congruence. Like I said, we started off on a slightly lower note. Spirits were a little down, but personally now I'm on a high because I believe that you have expectations which is in line with what they are thinking and with what their collective, the brain equity is thinking in terms of how do you engage with customers. I think it's a good note.
You actually saved my some money on customer meet because we had plans of tying up with an NGO for donating the points, but we wanted to actually get a feedback from our customers. So that.
So you actually acted as a focus group for him, for Titan, and well, you can talk the specifics of a financial transaction between yourselves. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you absolutely so much for this lovely discussion.